Heyo everybody, Haku here with my character design reactions for Magical Girl Raising Project or Mahou Shoujo Ikusei Keikaku Queens. So I'm excited, we're finally getting back to the main story, finally getting back to Queens. Right after this I'm going to post my read-through of the prologue, and then next week or whatever I'll be doing chapter 1. So yeah, the day I do Magical Girl Raising Project kind of depends on what else is going on the channel, and for right now I'm thinking that Friday will be Magical Girl Raising Project Day, except for these first videos. Not sure exactly what day they'll be on, but expect a new read-through video every Friday. That's what I'm gonna shoot for this right now. So yeah, we're going to do the character design reactions, and then on the same day we're going to have the prologue read through. But that's because this is going to probably be much shorter and much different than usual, because I'm pretty sure that like almost all of these character designs are characters we already know. Usually I go through, I try to guess and make up names for them based on their design. But because they're almost all characters we already know, I'm not really going to be able to do that. But I'm excited to see what recurring character, I mean, even if they're are recurring characters, I'm excited to see what specifically recurring characters we're going to get. I do want to give two thank yous here. I mean, a huge thank you, a third one, I guess, a huge thank you to everybody supporting over on Patreon. You really help me to keep making videos in general. But also a thank you to Slacker, who got me the character designs to react to, but then I noticed that they were on the drive already in the same sort of format, so I'm just looking at them on the drive right now. So thank you to Platfleece for that, thank you to Slacker on Discord for everything they've done to help out. Um, but yeah, big thank you to Platfleece in general for doing the translations that I read, since we're a bit ahead here than what's been released in English, that I read for the channel. I do buy the official versions, they're on the shelf there behind me. So yeah, I would say get those when you can too. But here we are. We're starting off, gonna react to these, and this, sadly, as soon as I opened it up, my brain, I guess I've gotten too good at reading Japanese now. I haven't looked at the powers, but we kind of already know what Puck Puck's power is. But I could clearly see that that's Puck Pucku. So, yeah, we have Puck Puck. So that's her confirmed design here for this. It's cute. Alright, her hair is a lot more big than I imagined when reading. Alright, so we have Puck Puck there. And then of course Snow White, Uluru, and Flea are returning. They seem kind of obvious ones to return because they played a really big role in Aces, so that makes sense. I'm really interested for Uluru and what Uluru will do this arc, because she was one of my favorites in Aces, and she's kind of become one of my like quick favorites in general already. Snow White, of course, is our main character. Ruler looks really cool in that picture. I'm just so nervous, because that's like the downside of it being so many characters that we already know, is like when it's all new characters, like you get to know them, you get to love them, but some of them you haven't gotten to know or to love that much, so it's easier to say goodbye. But with this being characters that we've already spent a whole arc with, like it's going to be even harder to deal with losing them. The next page we have Mana. Okay, so Mana's going to be back. We're bringing back the characters from Limited then, so I'm wondering if that means that who else was with her? Tepsikemme and Nanako-san, I wonder if they'll be back. So we have Mana. We've got Dark Cutie. That was her. I couldn't remember. There was something I did recently where I couldn't remember her name, but yeah, Dark Cutie. I like her design here. It looks a lot clearer, I guess, than the way, and better it looked, and looks better than it did in the character page for Aces. So Dark Cutie's returned. I guess we might see her going up against Snow White again. It's interesting though that she and Glacian are going to be back, because they had a role to play in Aces for sure, but like their role is more business. It doesn't seem as personal, but I guess maybe now that they've lost some allies, it'll be personal. So we have Glacian and Dark Cutie are coming back. Armor Arlie's coming back. That's cool because she didn't really get too much time in Aces, so she's still really mysterious. We don't know much about her. I'm assuming that's Bluebell Candy. She looks a little bit different, but I think that's her. Let me read. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's Bluebell Candy. She looks a little bit different to me, but she's coming back and she's still with Deluge. So we still have those three, and then all right, CQ Angel Hamuel and Shufflin 2 are coming back again. And then Shadow Gale, my favorite character that I'm so worried about, because I kind of feel the death flags when it comes for Shadow Gale. Like Shadow Gale, out of all the returning characters, I'm really feeling the death flags on. And then, is this a new character? It just says Lete, like a long re and then te. So Lete, I guess? Alright, she seems like some sort of dragon girl. Almost reminds me of like evolved form La Pucelle, in a way. Alright, so since this is kind of short, and I can't do the thing making up names for them or anything since we literally know all of them except for one, let me do some predictions, because I've done death predictions before, and this is going to be hard because I have no idea exactly what Queens is going to be about, or how many are going to survive, because a lot of characters survived in Aces. Like, I think almost every character, or at least half maybe, survived in Aces. And even in Jokers, it had maybe 5 that survived, and that's pretty high as far as arcs go. So let me make some predictions. I think Dark Cutie might die, because she'll bite off more than she can chew, trying to like fight Snow White or sort of redeem herself or get revenge for her fallen allies. I think she'll bite off more than she can chew and die. I think Glacian can die because there have to be those characters that just like die to progress the story. In the earlier arcs, it felt like every death and every character had a ton of meaning, but limited onward, actually even in limited, it felt like every character's death and character was really important, but at least for Jokers and Aces, there were some characters that got basically no development, and they were there just to be killed off to progress the story, like Patricia, or like, I don't even remember her name, the one that was with Umbrain too, I guess, but Lady Pride, something like that. I think Glacian could be in that role because really she's got some development, but not as much as the rest. So I think they could both die. Mana, I'm hoping survives. Not just because I really, really like Mana. Not just because I really, really like her. But I think that we could see more of her story with Nanako-san and Tepsukeme, who thankfully aren't here, so hopefully that means they're safe. Oh, one character I'm actually really surprised, or actually 2 characters. Ripple and Pithy aren't here. That's really interesting that Ripple and Pithy aren't here. Unless they're just gonna be in the arc, but they don't have their pictures here. But it's interesting that Ripple and Pithy aren't here. Deluge and Bluebell Candy, it's difficult, because Deluge is going on this sort of opposite of a hero's journey where she's losing her way and almost sort of delving into maybe almost villain territory in ways. And Bluebell Candy is this good person trying to help her. So what I think could happen, it is possible that Deluge could die, and it's sort of like, oh, it was punishment for her misdeeds or whatever, and that's the lesson to learn from her character. But I actually think that Bluebell Candy could die. Like, Deluge is on this place teetering between good and evil, and I think that Bluebell Candy could die saving her or helping her or protecting her, and that could be what tips Deluge back to the side of good to fight against maybe Puck, I don't know. So I'm gonna guess Deluge as a survivor. Armor Arlie could go either way, because she's still really mysterious right now. I think she's the kind of character that we've seen in previous arcs where we're like, how are they going to kill them? They seem pretty unkillable, and then somebody finds a way to kill them. So I like Armor Arlie, what little we know of her, but I actually think Armor Arlie could die. Now, Shadow Gale, I love. Shadow Gale's been my favorite character for like a long time, like since Restart. She's my favorite character, but I just think the death flags and the way she's been, I mean, she's kind of kidnapped-ish at the moment, I think. Plus the way that she's been trying to sacrifice herself for Flez's sake. I really feel like it could be, I guess, another Bluebell Candy and Deluge situation where she sort of dies in a way that helps Flea go to the side of good. I could see Shadowgale dying. Even though I love her so much, I could see her dying. I think Shufflin's probably there to be sort of a side villain, mini villain kind of character, even though she isn't necessarily evil, just following orders. I think Shufflin could die, and she's basically there just to add the comet or combat element of the story. So I think Shufflin could die, or Shufflin 2. Also, we still haven't seen the original Shufflin or Grim again, and I don't believe they're dead. It just seems too convenient that they die in an accident after the events of Jokers. So I think Shufflin 2 could probably die, and CQ Angel Hamuel, I don't know, it depends. I can't tell. Aces felt like a prologue for CQ Angel Hamuel. So I can't tell from that if the authors want to make her really important or not. If they do want to make her really important, she'll survive. I love her design. But if not, she could die here. I'm gonna predict die. Lette, I don't know if they're gonna be a villain or a hero. I don't know anything. I'm just going to guess death, though. When in doubt, guess death. I think a lot of characters are going to die this arc because we had a lot that survived in Jokers and a lot that survived in Aces. And I think a part of that is because we're building up to a lot of them dying instead of surviving here for Queens. Queens kind of feels like the final act before we move on to whatever's next. So, this is difficult because they might end up being one of the other sages or something, and they might survive and play a bigger role in the story. But I'm knowing nothing about their character. I'm just gonna guess die. So that's 4 dies all on the last page. On that second page, I'm gonna guess Mana and Deluge survive, and the other 4 die. And then my predictions for this first page: Puck Puck I think is going to be the villain. I don't necessarily know that Puck Puck is evil. I think that they're just, because their whole thing in Aces was trying to do this thing to restore the magic or to protect the magic or whatever for the land of magic. So I don't necessarily think they're evil, but their power is just so sketchy. I kind of think they are. So I'm going to say Puck Puck is the bad guy and dies during this arc, even though they're one of the sages. I'm going to say Snow White survives just because it feels like she's the through line for all of Magical Girl Raising Project. No matter how many times things change, the one constant is that Snow White is kind of related to what's going on in some way. So I'm going to say that Snow White survives. Uluru could go either way. Uluru could go either way. Uluru could die. I think what Uluru's going to do, though, is she's going to learn, because like at the end of Aces, where she was really questioning everything that was going on with her sisters dying, and with if she could really trust Puck Puck, and what was going on with Ripple, I feel like Uluru will start to question what's going on with Puck Puck, and question her extreme loyalty to her. And I don't know if that's going to end up getting Uluru killed or if she's going to survive, but I love Uluru, so I'm just going to say hopefully survive. And Flea, I think that Flea will survive. I think if either of the two die, I think Shadowgale is more likely to die and progress Flea in the story than Flea is to die and progress Shadowgale. So I think Flea is going to stick around. So that's out of, is it the normal 16? That's 8... No, there's only 14 this arc? Are there really only 14? Okay, so out of 14 characters this arc, and maybe like I said, maybe Ripple and Pithy will show up too, and they're just not included here. So yeah, out of 14 instead of the usual 16, I'm gonna guess 3 surviving, plus those 2, Mana and Deluge. That's 5 surviving. Oh, this is kind of ending up being a lot. Oh yeah, and I think all of them will die. So yeah, I'm gonna guess just like... I'm pretty sure 5 survived Jokers, and I'm not sure about Limited, but Limited might be 5 as well. So I'm gonna guess 5 survive. Ooh, there's a gnat buzzing around my face. So yeah, I'm gonna guess 5 survive. I'm gonna guess this arc, Queens, at the end, will have Deluge, Mana, Snow White, Uluru, and Flea left standing. So yeah, there we go. We got character design reactions and death predictions for Magical Girl Raising Project Queens. It ended up actually, because of that, being much longer than I thought, but I just enjoyed it. So I hope you did too. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that. Please, no spoilers. Yeah, I was going to say comment your guesses and stuff, but you all have probably already read it, so please, no spoilers. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, ask and I'll give you one. And if you want to help support the channel on Patreon to keep videos coming, it's patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.